I'm going to start from 3 up. I say no to Bibles being distributed. I say no to creationism. But I'm not opposed to having a generic implication at the schools rather than the school board. I think it's concerned there is there's so many different faiths and beliefs that having some kind of a generic invocation being done by a preacher is probably acceptable, and I would support that. I don't think it should be denominational because all of us are different. We all have different faiths, but I'm not opposed to that. It happens at sporting events. It happens at service clubs. They all get up and you have a little invocation. So I think it would be acceptable to have a kind of you call it generic, but have an invocation that would be non-denominational at schools and public education.
We have 2 questions regarding the general topic of pay raise. So I'll combine them into one and we'll address them to each candidate. Mr. Paterno. Please state your position with regard to annual pay raises for support personnel with cost of living percentage as a minimum. And also, if teachers and support personnel don't get raises, will the superintendent or should the superintendent administration get pay raises?
Well, let me tell you, if our organization, I think if everybody doesn't get a raise, I don't get a raise. And I think that's appropriate. Because we're talking about a budget issue. And if there's a budget crunch, we should reward some people at the higher level and not those at the lower level. So I'm not in favor of, if it's a raise, we've got to make it available to everybody across the board. I'll be honest with you, in my business, we look at everything based upon merit raises. For the administration, I think it ought to be a merit raise. We should automatically give people the same percentage. Because people don't earn the same. People haven't performed the same. So I think there needs to be an evaluation process that says we're going to evaluate them based upon what they've done in the school district in that position and how did it affect the goals and priorities that we've established, and then adjust their raises. I'm all in favor of paying raises for our teachers. Our teachers are our greatest asset, and we need to let them know that we support them and we support the other support personnel to the fullest extent possible. So that's it.
This question seems to create a lot of energy. I think the biggest issue here is whether I don't think anybody's done a very good job of presenting their side. The general public thinks the teachers are whining about not making enough money, and they don't understand exactly where they're coming from. I think we all, it's back to communication. The administration, the union, the teachers, the parents need to get on the same page. The problem is this. If we don't find a way to pay the support personnel and the teachers of this community a livable wage, we're going to lose those teachers because they're going to move. A third of those teachers are at the age where they can retire anytime they want. Another third are the younger half that are going to work. They're going to leave because they're not going to be able to live here. And same with support personnel. So it comes back to a budget. We need to put more money in the general fund so we can keep up with the cost of living so these people can afford to live and work here. Otherwise, we're going to have major problems.
Just so you understand in the budget, the operating side of the budget, the way we are set up right now, teachers who are above step 20 are not budgeted for at all. We are dead last and have to follow that. Staff, same thing. I think we need to prioritize our budget and make all staff members a priority and budgeted for each year. So we don't get into some of the situations that we've had, especially last year. It was very contentious. It was very stressful for staff and administrators who had to deal with that, and it wasn't very intense.
Without our teachers and our support staff, we won't have any school system. If we don't pay them a living wage so they can live in Collier County, they won't be here, and we won't have a Collier County school system. Teachers need a raise, support staff needs raises. Administrators are paid too much now.
I agree. I wish we could pay everybody. And I agree with the merit issue as well. We have steps. That means that if you've been here a certain number of years, if you've worked really hard, you might get a step increase. You might not, depending upon how many years you've been here. We have teachers who work very, very hard, and they deserve compensation. We have all employees who work very hard who deserve to be paid for their efforts and their accomplishments. We have, I just lost my train of thought for a second. But when it comes to looking, that we have looked at a lot of positions over this past year, and in administration especially, we have been able to eliminate a lot of positions that have been maintained for the purpose of keeping an adult in a job instead of what the best decision is for our students. Adrian Markopoulos. I am a former K-12 substitute teacher and a former college-level teacher. I would love to say that raises are something that we definitely can do for everyone across the board. But the reality is that we have to look at the budget. Anyone who's going to extend a blanket promise to you may not be able to fulfill it. I'm going to tell you what I see, and that is the need for cutbacks and change. So are raises guaranteed? Not necessarily. Is it something that will definitely be explored? Without a doubt. I don't know anyone who currently works who doesn't deserve a raise, who works hard. Adrian Markopoulos.
This question goes to the core of the integrity of our staff. Our teachers and our support staff, our schools have continued to excel, continue to improve, despite the tumultuous and rushed decisions that have been made this past year by a majority of this board. I believe wholeheartedly that we need to look at this budget very seriously and pass this referendum. Thank you.
As I said before, my wife works in a school. I volunteer in the schools. And I know what the teachers do. I know what the janitors do. And quite honestly, we can't fairly, not being on this board, answer this question that, yes, everybody deserves a raise. I think everybody deserves more money. Look at the price of everything. But until we get on it and this board gets working together as a unified board, we cannot promise a raise until we find out where our money is being wasted, and then we find out where we can put it to get back into our classrooms so our students can have the best education they can, by the teachers that are happy by the pay that they're getting. Thank you.